We're just still very traditional barbecue. A lot of them have gone to what we say the craft barbecue with entrees that they serve each way. I mean, ours is still about as traditional as it comes. It's barbecue cut, put on a tray. You know, you can get one slice or you can get 100 slices. It doesn't matter. We've just stayed that way. It's just, you know, that's what we started with and that's what we wanted to do. And last time I counted the register, there was people from 23 different states and 15 countries on a Saturday morning, and the last 2 times I've counted it, it's been very close. You know, that's just kind of a norm. We've been very blessed with the clientele that we have, and so many of them from other countries have repeated 2, 3, and 4 times, coming back. You know, they said we've made a lot of the other ones, and this is still our favorite. So it's, you know, there's a lot of great barbecue in Texas today, but the experience we offer here is, you know, up there with second to none. All right, I'm Kerry Bexley, owner of Snow's BBQ. If y'all want to, we'll take a little tour and see where all the magic happens. Right here we have this pit. It'll be full of chickens. Chickens is one of Miss Tootsie's favorite specialty that she had for many years. Both sides of that's full of chicken, and then this is pork steaks and our overflow of ribs. This one here that's not loaded yet will be where we cook our sausage. We cook it hanging on rods, got its own firebox, drip pan, and then we'll keep it rotating, and the storage bins are there. I built all of these in 2003 before we opened up, and they are as they were then. I mean, nothing has changed in this area. Over here where we burn our wood down to coals, that's been replaced since '03 one time recently, and at the same time we added a pit that I didn't build, and Clay picked out a primitive pit, and all it'll be used for is overflow of our ribs and some other odds and ends from time to time. Again, this is, like I said, where we'll just burn down wood to coals. We go from side to side. We load it full to start with, and then we'll go from side to side to give us enough coals to operate the chicken and the pork pits. Again, this one's just got an overflow of a few ribs on it. I'm not going to leave it open long. Brisket pit, we can put around 600 pounds or better on it now. They're already been wrapped for today. It's due a cleaning right now, but it's got 3 shelves, and firebox on this one is not insulated. I built this pit in the latter part of 2008 after our first recognition. We had some mobile pits pulled in here trying to get enough with volume, and till I got this one built. It's no Moberg, but it works, and like I said, it's been in service since 2008. I really didn't have no science I was looking for when I built this thing. I was just trying to get it built to where I could get the volume up, and Clay has learned it and does an awesome job with it. Clay will do all our internet cooking throughout the week, and he's been with us about 10 or 12 years.
Does it have any tendencies?
No, this really don't. I mean, the weather and all is the way we've got them situated in here. weather conditions will change a little bit, but very minimal. It really does. It does a good job, and clay, it rotates a lot on here and moves around. There is some hotter spots. When I built it, I had tuning plates. I had visited with David Close out of Houston, and he just encouraged tuning plates on the bottom of this 3-tier cooking levels. Then I had them in there for some time and cleaning tuning plates. Those of them that use them know, and one week we weren't cooking, but I don't know, 40 or 50 briskets at a time, and I said, let's take them out, and we have yet to put them back in there. And that's the reason for all the gauges. It's not show, it's nothing else. I figured when I built it, it would take some time to get them tuning plates positioned correctly, and that was a short period, and we've just left them gauges on there. Gives people a reason to ask the question, why so many, but Clay will utilize 1 or 2 of them throughout the whole time. He don't pay no attention to the rest of them. And the rib pit, which has a insulated firebox, I think I finished construction on it in like 2011. At that time we had our ribs on our box pits direct heat for a while, and partially on an indirect, and then we were able to move them all over to this pit, and it does a good job. Like I said, he's got them different cooking levels along the way. We can utilize all 3 doors on this one. It's got an insulated firebox. Get most of our wood. There's this gentleman that's been cutting it for me for years. Most of it comes off the ranch that, dies. We don't cut any green trees down. We use what's dies, and then there's another vendor too I've bought some from along the way to keep up to that. We try to keep good dry wood. And oak is plentiful in this area, so that's the reason we're straight post oak. It's just because it's plentiful in this area. Times have changed a lot for us from '03 until today, and I mean, last time I counted the register, there was people from 23 different states and 15 countries on a Saturday morning, and the last 2 times I've counted it, it's been very close. That's just kind of a norm. We've been very blessed with the clientele that we have, and so many of them from other countries have repeated 2, 3, and 4 times, coming back. They said we've made a lot of the other ones, and this is still our favorite. So there's a lot of great barbecue in Texas today, but the experience we offer here is up there with second to none. Miss Tootsie still comes in. She's liable to come in 6, 6:30, 7, 7:30, kind of whenever she wakes up and feels like it. As far as cooking, she hasn't done a lot of cooking in the last 3 to 7 years, doing a lot, but she still plays the part she's always played, and still very healthy and very interesting lady. From there, we'll go to we'll make a quick run in our seasoning room.
When you were first looking, how did you find the building and everything?
This location, I had a farm and ranch store here in the 90s, and actually where we're standing now, I'd poured this for concrete when the slow times during the day. In the farm and ranch store, I did a lot of welding right out here on this slab. I knew this would be a good location. Miss Tootsie's market was just catty corner back here, small, and the pits were practically outdoors. They had a little bitty cover, and I thought this would be a really neat pit area. I had it laid out, and our livestock sale is just a block down the roads at Saturdays only. So Lexington's a very small town, town of a little better than 1,000 people. So there's not much room. People ask, why don't you open more days a week? Well, if I was 30 again with the recognition we had, I probably would, but I'm not 30, and I'm not interested in more than 1 day a week at this time, and I don't ever foresee that changing. But anyway, I knew it'd be a good location. During the pandemic, we were shut down for about 8 months, and actually our sales were up during the 8 months, because in '08 I put shipping in place, And that was really not a eager thing to do, but it was something that if I had Saturdays, bad weather or whatever, if I had product left, we don't ever rewarm and, you know, reserve anything for that say. That's when I put shipping in place, and it rocked along for years, just fair, you know, doing what I wanted it to do. But then, 10 or 12, 15 years ago, we gave it some attention and have turned it into another business. It's been very good, you know, with the way people are now and like to order from home But during the pandemic, all the seating area here was pea gravel. I come in and asphalted all of that. I built our merch room and bathrooms. We were bathroom poor. We had one in our season room here that on a Saturday service time, ladies would use ours, and we had a porta-can for men to use out there. And that went for several years. And like I said, when I was shut down during the pandemic, I built the merch building and 3 bathrooms in there. And then back in our shipping room, we'll see later, there's another bathroom back there. But let's wander into the seasoning room. It's pretty tight quarters. Shortly after we opened, I pulled this little building in here, like I said, for a bathroom and just some other operating room. We season here, the walk-in cooler behind you. In the earlier years, there was a double-door lunchroom fridge there, just stand-up commercial refrigerator there, and then another one or two along this wall that we manhandled the meat in and used. And then when I got to shipping in '08, you know, the cooling down of the cooked product, the standalones were not adequate to do that, and we knocked that wall out and set in a walk-in cooler there. Our meats will come in, delivered here. Everything's delivered to us. It'll deliver into this cooler, season and go back into that cooler. We season on Thursday nights for our Friday night cook, and really the reason for that is more just convenience on labor as it is a benefit of having the seasoning set on them for a period of time. We've tested that in a lot of different directions, and there's not a huge plus of that. And then once we're cooked, like on our internet cooks, we'll go to the new building and cool everything down, vacuum seal and freeze. But this is pretty small. Again, we did just storage and kind of redneck way.
Talking about not adding pits and things, it reminded me of a conversation I had with Will from Corkscrew. And I had seen him at the Houston Festival. It was the first time I'd seen him ever since he got the Michelin star. And he was like, you know, we started to try and add more volume. He said, but I felt like the quality was going down. And he was like, so we cut back, he said that was probably the biggest learning curve was you don't have to make more, just keep doing it right, you know?
Right.
I was like, that's actually really fucking smart.
I'm gonna have to get on my game and get these done.
We put the cameras down. Pull out the chef cups if you want.
Here we're going to walk into what was our original shipping, and it's for years I did all the shipping right out of this room, the vacuum sealing shipping. All our storage containers were housed in here, and then that's really our only storeroom that we have for products. It ties into the back of the dining area, but I had a walk-in freezer that was mounted to the outside of this that we did all the shipping right in here. And to look back at the volumes that we sent out of here, to think of how we ever made it, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of a mess now. We had 2 loads of merchandise come in. You can pull that tube behind you. This is also a building that I was able to build while I was shut down during the pandemic. It's a 30 by 50 building with new coolers, freezers. This won't, on Saturday, this won't be used much. We'll set up a table back here for VIP people if somebody's coming. And, you know, some of our barbecue family and friends, if they're coming, we'll set them up back here. Again, we'll cool everything here in the walk-in cooler, and then vacuum seal, freeze, and we do all our shipping out of here. I'm gonna hit that light while I'm thinking about it. Really, there's not a lot happens back here during the weekend. It's pretty empty right now. Shipping's another whole deal with your regulations and HACCP plans and all, and the amount of inventory you have to, you know, boxes and shipping containers. I've got as least amount right now as I've had since 2020 back here. I mean, we had a really busy week, and there's a load coming this next week, but normally this is pretty full of shipping containers. And we have another bathroom back here for employees. Make a little more. I'm gonna let y'all go out and I'll pull it behind you. And if there's something you want to see or ask along the way, ask it. We're gonna go through the serving line and you can kind of see. Everything you see in here was basically as it was when I started in '03, when I built all the counters and the steam table, and everything is set up basically the same. We actually had 6 tables there in the back with dining, and even until the pandemic, and then after that we just took it out and did all outside seating. It just made it much more convenient and flow better. Customers will come through here and order right here and then go out the front door and come around. But anyway, they'll come through and order and go out this front door here and down the ramp back around to the seating area. They'll get their condiments, pickles, onions, bread, beans here. We've got potato salad, coleslaw. They're served. It's in the cooler. We're just still very traditional barbecue. A lot of them have gone to the, what we say, the craft barbecue with so different entrees that they serve each way. I mean, ours is still about as traditional as it comes. It's barbecue cut, put on a tray. You know, you can get 1 slice or you can get 100 slices. It doesn't matter. And we've just stayed that way. It's just, you know, that's what we started with, and that's what we wanted to do. And we've made very few changes, added very few items to the menu just because of room in here. There is a lot of items that we would like and can add. I guess probably the only thing we've added out of the norm was turkey breast back some years ago, but you know, we've pretty well stuck to what we've been doing from day one.
Have y'all been able to keep the same meat supplier throughout the year?
My meat supplier, I've got a wonderful meat supplier out of Taylor. He pretty well does everything. We've just got a good understanding and a good partnership, and they've been very good. I've never been stressed very much on hunting meat or being without meat.
Were they able to keep up when there was the sudden uptick?
The uptick, they were, and then the pandemic with everything, they were able to keep up with us. Like I said, there's been very few instances to where we had trouble getting meat. And I don't know that there was ever a break in service as far as shipments or anything due to not being able to get meat.
With the uptick, what was the biggest learning curve for y'all?
You mean the uptick from the notoriety in 2008? It was just a volume change and the crowd. You know, Tootsie and I kind of visited. We're gonna increase what we can manage and manage well, and that's what we've done. You know, could we have another 2, 3, 4 pits out there and run later in the day? Yes, we could. Is that what we want to do? No, it's not. You know, again, that's. People don't understand Saturday only. You know, yeah, you can have pretty good barbecue 1 day a week, and that's true. I mean, the guys that are doing it 6 or 7 days a week, I totally understand, and their hats off to them. But it's just a business plan that we've chose to stick with, and you know, that's what we've done. I mean, the new rankings are coming out, and we just gradually creep further and further down with them for several reasons. I won't mention them all, but you know, there's a lot of good product out there today, and you need to be willing to play politics also, which we don't do very well. You know, we stick kind of what's got us here and stay true, and they're not gonna influence us to change very little. Our lines have been long. I mean, you know, when I got here at 1 this morning, 1:30, there's already a line, and by opening time there's going to be 150 plus in line, and that's just kind of a norm. You know, I say 150. There's been times it's been below 150 at 7:30 in the morning, but not very many. You know, but it works, and that's kind of like I was visiting with Pat Sharp. I said, you know, that every festival we've been to, we've had the longest line and served the most people every year after year. You know, I said, that ought to take into consideration a little. And she said, well, lines don't lie, and that's true. You know, but that's not how they think today. And again, we're very, very thankful for them, but we're not changing ass kissing to be any different than what we are.
Stay tried and true. In the Houston area, it seems like the demographic is kind of asking for the old school to kind of change, and they'll travel outside of Houston to kind of get the old school. I think that I think that on the outskirts of, at least in my opinion, and from what I've seen, on the outskirts of Houston, they've been able to stay a little bit more traditional barbecue, while there's some serious pressure inside of Houston to mold. Have you talked to other guys about, like how they're approaching barbecue differently now that there's like?
We used to visit quite a bit, and here in the last year or so, I haven't visited with a lot. I visit with Russell Regals occasionally in Houston, and some others. And me and John Brotherton were big buds, and but I don't visit a lot and not knowledgeable a lot of what they do. But I know you've got Hurtados and them in Houston and Killens, and like I said, I'll visit with Ronnie a good bit. But to answer your question, no, I can't. I mean, like I said, that's not debatable for us. We're going to be pretty traditional today or till the day we close. That's just the way it'll be. Can we do a lot of things to make this better? Probably could, but under our working format, we've just kind of stuck to what's got us here and what we've done. And again, the lines that are there each week, apparently it's, and once Miss Tootsie's gone, it's gonna, is the product gonna change? No, the product hadn't changed, or isn't gonna change at all. But will our attendance change? Sure it will, to some degree, but our online people, a majority of that business is repeat customers that we formed a relationship with, and I mean, I get them week after week. It's, the customer service they get is the reason they order from us, and the product quality of products usually very consistent time after time.
How you were talking about the variety of where people were coming from, but what percentage are locals? If you were able to put a percentage.
I mean, if I was going to put a percentage on locals, true locals within the county, it would be, it would be 1, 2, or 3% of our daily crowd. It's been some time back, and there was an East Texas couple talking about how far they had drove, and they were very happy and all. And we just sat down and glanced at the register, and looking over the register from that day, they were probably closer than the average person, that we had served all day. The Netflix film was big. During the pandemic, it was big, and I had actually turned them down the first time and then reconsidered and shot. But it was a big deal. We get a lot of international visitors. I mean, you'll notice today when you're checking through the line, there'll be people from all over the world. Being a holiday weekend, I feel like you'll have more Texas today, but I mean, it's just very rewarding to see people. I'm visiting with a couple the other day from the UK. Another couple walks up and said, "Can we get a picture?" I said, "Sure, where y'all from?" They said the UK. Introduced them to each other, and they were in the UK in a town of about 88,000 people and lived about 3 minutes from each other. That's interesting. Parking at Snows, again, you see we're small here. There's not a parking lot. There's city streets that run all the way. Just a block to the north of us is a city square with ample parking there. The livestock sale doesn't start till 12 noon, so a lot of times we're on the downhill slide by the time they get ready to start. They're a block to the south. But there's plenty. I mean, we have people pull in with campers and RVs and stuff, and they can pull down to the city square, which is, like I said, just 1 block away, and park. And then for the most part, it's never an issue with parking. That's kind of like seating area. We don't have a whole lot, but our service rate and our seating area, we very seldom have an issue with somebody finding a place to sit down.
Why 8 a.m.?
8 a.m. Really was stumbled upon. We had opened up for 03 to 08. We were here at 8 and we're serving, and I think it was during the interview with Texas Monthly, what time y'all open? I said, well, we really don't have an opening time. If we had somebody show up here at 8 o'clock, we can usually find them something if they're going to work, and that's kind of how that 8 o'clock rung. And it's really beneficial to us now. Like now, it's the Texas summer. It's pretty hot, and we've got umbrellas and stuff that are set out. But it just works for us. It's different. It's a calling card, and we get out of here by 12:30 or 1 o'clock. We're done. Give some things away. It's just a verbal number. We're going to count from the front to the back. It's per person, not per group. If you'll sound off at number 1, see if we can't get to the back with it. It may take a while. Again, per person.
At 7 o'clock.
Wow. Corey, how is that to Kevin?
She was married to Corey.
Yeah, and Corey is what to Kevin?
Nephew. I'm all out of whack today. Is Renee? Jamie not working?
Even if it works, it's probably on